We all know those GLP-1 injections work wonders, but that price tag almost gave me a heart attack when my insurance denied coverage. I was staring at a choice between paying my mortgage or paying for weight loss. Talk about a rock and a hard place. Then I found Elevate Health compounded semaglutide at just $58 with payment plans that don't require a second mortgage. Same medication, same results, but a price that real folks can actually afford. Visit joinelevate.com today. That's JOINELEVATE.com. Your wallet will be as happy as your waistline. This medication is not FDA approved.
Hey, this is Jason Kleberg from the Force 5 podcast, a show that forces a guest to come up with a movie-themed top 5 list topic, and then we reveal our picks on air. Top 5 heist films, top 5 tearjerkers, top 5 movie dogs. Every show you'll be asking yourself, what would be on my list? Guests include directors, screenwriters, actors, podcasters, musicians, authors, and even a professional wrestler. Subscribe to the Force 5 podcast, and you won't just be a listener, you'll be a list nerd. The Force 5 podcast, available wherever you're listening now.
And Sean, isn't that a great view to a kill? Oh.
I wanted you to sing it, man. You had such a great...
No, that was for the pre-show. That was pre-show, not for the podcast.
That was some... You can serenade me anytime with that song.
Oh, boy. Today we're going to be talking about Roger Moore's final turn as James Bond in 1985's A View to a Kill. Before we talk about that, Sean, have you been watching anything this week?
I'm actually in the middle of watching Ex Machina, and I actually really like it. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I do right now. But I'll save that for next month because that's when we're talking about it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but I mean, I know that some of the writers for the site seem to really like it.
It's I didn't realize it was from the same guys that made 28 Days Later. And it definitely has that tone, you know?
Huh.
It's cool. So I'm excited to talk about it next month with you.
I like Oscar Isaac, so that was kind of my draw to it. It was Oscar Isaac.
That's awesome. What about you? You see anything?
Kate and I have been watching, she's been watching it, and I've been just kind of, glancing at every now and then. Nurse Jackie on Netflix.
Yeah.
Not exactly my kind of show.
It's on my queue, not gonna lie.
It's okay. I mean, it kind of reminds me of every other show I've ever seen from Showtime.
Yeah, fair. That's true.
Which is like, troubled hero that has like a really weird like thing about you know what I mean? Yeah. It's okay. It's not great. And I'm not a huge fan of Edie Falco, so she was like my least favorite part of The Sopranos. So it's all right, and it's only a half an hour an episode as opposed to an hour, which is good.
That's nice.
So that's like the only upside to
enduring it.
Yeah. Well, other than that, I have not been watching much of anything. So let's talk about A View to a Kill. Came out in 1985. Like I said before, it was Roger Moore's final time as James Bond. The man was 58 at the time. And this film, I think, for most people that are fans of Bond, and some people don't even know this. I mean, when we had Eric on last week, he was surprised that there was a Bond film that had Christopher Walken as the villain.
Yeah.
Most people don't know this. Christopher Walken was the main villain, Max Zorin, in this film. And the IMDb synopsis for this film is: an investigation of a horse racing scam leads 007 to a mad industrialist who plans to create a worldwide microchip monopoly by destroying California's Silicon Valley.
This man has a secret ambition.
I propose to end the domination of Silicon Valley. Project Main Strike.
A secret plan.
For which each of you will pay me $100 million.
And a secret weapon.
We're not sure about her. Name's Mayday.
Someone will take care of you.
Oh, you'll see to that personally, will you?
There's only one man who can stop them.
Well, Sean, you hadn't seen this before. What do you think of this final Roger Moore adventure?
So that's the thing. Like, the last one I had seen, I didn't really want to see Roger Moore again, and he just isn't my favorite Bond so far, which isn't saying much, but because I mean, it's hard to compare them. But I found myself loving the hell out of this movie. It actually is one of my favorites that we've seen so far.
So considering your feelings for Roger Moore last week, I'm actually a little on the surprise side that you like this movie.
I am too, especially because he's 58, and I thought that was ridiculous in the beginning, but it kind of I didn't find that distracting at all. I mean, except for those few moments where he's having sex with every little young woman running around, but even then it doesn't.
That is way younger.
That is extremely under his yeah, but it didn't feel weird, and I kind of really loved. I don't know if I was saying that it was like the first time I was able to really follow the movie. It was very visually clear. And I don't know, I loved all of the characters. There's a lot of really good characters in this one.
Well, and it also helps when the villain is as good as he is.
He was such a great villain, such a great psychopath.
Yeah. Christopher Walken in this film is probably one of my favorite Bond villains. He's up there with Ron Sanchez from License to Kill.
Yeah.
He's and you know, the disappointing part is that this is a Roger Moore film, and you know, I have my reservations about Roger Moore, and I'm not a huge fan of his. So that kind of bums me out a little bit. But other than it being Roger Moore as Bond, I really love this film.
I did too. This is one of my favorites, I think, that we've seen.
Yeah. I
really like it. I think it's interesting that Christopher Walken does sort of disappear into the background, but he has such amazing character work because for a while I was saying that like he really didn't have much to do up until the end, and then he's a complete. So you see how much of a psychopath and how much of that is underneath the surface, and like maybe that's why he gets forgotten about this. But it's such a gem. He's really great.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like, you know, this film kind of gets forgotten because it is kind of the last hurrah of Roger Moore. People are getting a little tired of Roger Moore. You know, you could come up with any number of excuses, I guess, if that makes sense. Let's break down the movie a little bit. So what did you think of the pre-credit scene featuring Roger Moore as James Bond snowboarding and jumping around and doing all sorts of just wacky, campy shit?
So I honestly, it started off rough because I was like, oh my god, I knew this was his last movie. It's like 85, I think, and I know that he's old and he's snowboarding, and it's like such a strange way to appeal to a younger audience in a weird way. But like I don't know. So it wasn't my favorite opening sequence, to be honest, but especially when they got into this ridiculous iceberg boat that was totally obviously swimming away. And
the Russians didn't realize.
Yeah, no, it was just, I mean, it was a motorboat. It was clearly not an iceberg, but it was, I mean, you know, it wasn't my favorite opening, but it didn't kill it for me. It was cool enough. I liked the ridiculous boat.
I feel like it's the weakest part of the movie for me.
Yeah.
Because it's too campy. Right? Like, you have clearly a stunt double.
Right, exactly.
Like, right? Like, it's clearly a stunt double.
Of course.
And he's, like, doing all this stuff, and you're just like, man, Roger Moore's, like, 58. This is taking me out of the movie a little bit. This isn't great.
Right.
And then you have him, like, fucking that chick at the end, too.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like,
I was like,
perfect little lounge.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, dude, like, for real. It's so hokey.
Yeah.
Right? It's so hokey and just over the top, and not in the way that I like. It's in the way that is indicative of every other problem I've had with Roger Moore as James Bond.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that is kind of, that starts off the movie not in the best way.
Right. That's why I was surprised, because it builds so nicely after that.
Right. No, and I completely agree. It after the intro, just bullshit.
And it kind of is a throwaway scene. I mean, it really, except for the fact that he gets this microchip that's really important.
Right. So, what did you think of the song?
You know what? I actually really, out of all of the Roger Moore, at least.
If you're looking for more horror outside of the mainstream, look no further than Unsung Horrors, a podcast about underseen horror movies. I'm Lance.
And I'm Erica. Every other week, we'll cover a horror movie with fewer than 1,000 views on Letterboxd. We'll even give you double feature recommendations to pair with the movies we discuss.
From gothic to shot on video, from slashers to comedies, from giallo to J-horror. We'll cover all the subgenres. So join us as we unearth these hidden gems of horror.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Unsung Horrors, available wherever you listen to podcasts. And part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Before the Dalton, I really liked it. Was catchy, man. Dancing in Fire.
It is the only James Bond theme song to reach #1 in Billboard Top 100.
Really? That's not surprising, though, after you told me it was Duran Duran, of course.
Right. But I mean, it's so good.
It is. It does. It's. I liked it, and it incorporated the name pretty nicely. Pretty
right.
Seamlessly.
It didn't feel cheesy.
Exactly.
Oh God, I can hear it playing in my head. It's just it's such a good. It's a good Duran Duran song, on top of being a good intro song.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think that the music doesn't really. I think that the music it shows that this isn't the right James Bond for this era.
Yeah. Like
Roger Moore, because kind of this late, early 70s, whole 70s, I guess. He was the 70s Bond.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really work well, in my opinion, in the 80s.
Right. But this movie feels like a real 80s movie, you know what I mean? So it's
you have Grace Jones, you have Christopher Walken, nothing in this movie feels like Roger Moore should be a part of it.
Exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about the characters. So let's talk about Roger Moore. We've touched on it and we've kind of given our thoughts a little bit. What did you think of Roger Moore in his final turn as James Bond?
That was the main thing holding, that I had going against me when I was watching this movie. But it quickly became the least of my concerns. That's the wrong way to say that, I guess. I sort of forgot about it. It kind of blends away and it works enough to where I didn't mind it. He wasn't bad. He actually wasn't bad.
And I actually agree because, I feel like in some of the other ones, he is bad.
Yeah, Moonraker.
Exactly. Yeah, Moonraker was real bad.
Yeah. I feel like he settled into this role, and he finally, at least it's it's a way that I can relate, and I like it.
He settled in finally at the end.
Exactly, right there at the end.
And I would agree a little bit. I feel like this being his final turn, I feel like he has settled in.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he still isn't great as James Bond.
Right. It's like you said, he's in the wrong movie.
And he doesn't have a really good chemistry with the main Bond girl, played by Tanya Roberts, Stacey Sutton.
Right. And to be honest, that was my other. I think that main chemistry flaw was the main problem I had.
Yeah. Their chemistry is non-existent.
Yeah.
And if you look at some of the behind the scenes stuff, they didn't get along.
That's interesting. I could totally believe that. I totally believe that.
They didn't get along at all off screen. Which should not be surprising.
Yeah.
And to me it makes sense because, it's just there's no chemistry between him and the Bond girl.
Not at all. The Bond girl, Stacey Sutton, it's funny because I felt she had all the right elements there. It was such a great caricature of what happened in the early 70s, maybe in his early movies. But it definitely, it felt more like a sort of like a relic of the older movies. You know what I mean? It's strange, but that's because she was not great. It was just an idea of what a Bond girl was supposed to be.
Well, that's the thing, right? It doesn't, it does stick out, and that sticking out just brings you out of the fact that everything else about this movie is very 80s, and then you have this super 70s Bond girl.
Yeah, this distressed. Yeah, like it's interesting because they try to give her stuff to do, and that kind of makes up for it sometimes. But like at the end of the day, it just doesn't feel like the kind of relationship we wanted, and it just sort of feels surface.
And talking about the Bond girl in this movie, we obviously said there's no chemistry. She's not good on her own anyway.
Right.
I don't feel like.
I agree.
I don't feel like she's a particularly interesting Bond girl.
Right, she just hits the right notes, man.
Yeah, she's a geologist who gets drawn into this because Zorin bought her family's company. That's just not interesting.
Right. That's also like not even really as helpful to our hero at all. You know what I mean? Like they used to be CIA agents or something. It's just so randomly in there.
Yeah, I wasn't. It's kind of reminds me. Her character kind of reminds me of Denise Richards in World Is Not Enough, where it's just like, come on, like no one believes that she's like a geologist.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, like just give me a break. Like it's not believable. Right. Speaking of the other, I guess, kind of Bond girl, Grace Jones as Mayday.
Oh my God,
she's something else.
Yeah, and that character, what a beautiful character arc. I thought it was awesome.
I mean, you saw it coming.
Totally.
Right.
But like, I don't know. It was such a cool, I just loved it. She was more of the Bond girl to me this time.
Well, and she is really one of the things that brings me into the 80s aspect of this film.
Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, that style, girl, she looks like she looks like a model out of the 80s.
Yeah. Because she yeah. And she's still doing her thing. She's 67. She's still doing her thing now.
She's working. I looked at her IMDb page. She's working. She's still working.
Yeah, she's still doing the Grace Jones thing. She marches to the beat of her own drum. That's for sure. I never, out of all these movies, I've never gone from like really not liking character like the way I'm supposed to really loving a character. Mm-hmm. That sacrifice at the end was everything, and that was pretty cool. Yeah, but she's good in the film. She is, yeah. She initially plays Zorin's henchman, and then she becomes her and Bond have sex for like no reason.
Yeah.
I guess just so Bond could be like, I had sex again.
Right, with all of them.
Yeah. But she's really good. I like her a lot. And she really does bring that like 80s flair and feel to the film that only a character like her could.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's got those colors, and like she's definitely sticks out like that. And it's really cool.
Yeah. And I think that she's, a very memorable part of this film for a lot of people who have seen this film. And, I think she's one of the better parts of this film.
Yeah, she ended up being one of my favorite characters.
And she overshadows Stacey Sutton.
Oh yeah, definitely by far.
Yeah, Tanya Roberts is Stacey Sutton. She overshadows her up, God, just like leaps and bounds. What did you think of Christopher Walken as Max Zorin?
I gotta tell you, I told you before we started that I just saw him in True Romance, so I really got the creepy vibe. Like he's the kind of guy who he works best with a slow burn. So like, I was whining about it because like throughout the movie I'm like, he hasn't really done anything. He's just he hasn't physically done anything. But then you see the crazy that he peels back at the end when he just slaughters everyone, and then he laughs about it. And even his death is great because he's laughing as he's about to fall. Such a great psychopath. I love Christopher Walken, man.
No, I mean he is without a doubt for me the best part of this film.
Absolutely.
I mean, whenever I say Christopher Walken is a villain in a Bond film, I think that perks everybody's ears up.
Absolutely.
If they have never seen this film, because of Christopher Walken just being, he's Christopher Walken. I mean, I don't need, if you enjoy film, you probably have an opinion on Christopher Walken.
Exactly.
And most people love the Christopher Walken shtick, and this really is like that shtick in the best way.
Oh, absolutely. Because there's something about it that is so, the way especially when he plays a villain, man, there's something so creepy and beautifully unpredictable about him. You just don't know.
Now, do you know who was originally cast and who they wanted for the character of Max Zorin?
I have no idea.
Think real hard about what the character looks like.
Donald Trump.
Oh, come on.
I really don't. I don't know.
David Bowie.
Really? No way.
Yeah.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which makes sense if you look at his character.
That totally, yeah. I would have loved to have seen, honestly would have loved to have seen that. Not to say
David Bowie, in very typical David Bowie fashion, his response was, I don't want to spend 6 months watching my stunt double fall off of cliffs. Which is why he didn't do it.
Okay.
So I love Max Zorin. I love the character. Christopher Walken puts it over the top. Would it have been interesting to see it as Bowie? Yeah, maybe, but
I still wouldn't change it the way it is.
Yeah, I really love Christopher Walken in this film. I mean, Christopher Walken is one of the greatest character actors of all time. Yeah. Right? I think you and I are in agreement on that.
I totally love everything.
And I mean, in this film, he is given essentially free reign to ham it up, go as crazy as possible. I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
It is absolutely insane, the level of just insanity that he brings to this character.
Absolutely. I would say it's him at his finest. I mean, if you can imagine, it's what he does best,
Yeah, he's like a crazy asshole.
Yeah.
And, he like you said, at one point he just picks up an Uzi and mercilessly slaughters, like, oh my God, like every 10, 15 people.
Oh yeah. And like drowns the rest. Like, oh my gosh. It's just such a great, it's a great insight into his mind there. That's a great scene because that really lets you know how much of a psychopath he is. He just totally sacrifices his companions too.
Right. He's like, oh, good, whatever.
Yeah, what a coincidence.
They knew the risks.
Exactly.
Later.
Sorry about it.
Man, it's like, shit, yeah. You're a nut job.
He played them cold.
Yeah. I really, really like this character. And I think that it makes the film way better than it would have been otherwise.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think without Christopher Walken as Max Zorin, this film would have been pretty flat.
Yeah, the villains really, really made this movie. And I also really liked that he had, as far as the good guys go, I really liked Tibbet. I thought...
Oh, Patrick McNee.
Yeah, I thought he was such a fun character, a fun little sidekick, and I was really sad when he was killed.
Well, and Patrick McNee, obviously he played John Steed in the Avengers TV show, which is, awesome that, we essentially have both of the actors from the Avengers TV show in a Bond film at one point or another.
Yeah.
Because we had Diana Rigg in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Right. So I like him in this film. I think that he's underrepresented a little bit. I think there was more to his character than they provided us.
I agree.
And his repertoire with Bond back and forth is pretty great too.
It is. It's cute. It's like a little shticky, but it lightens the mood in such a gret way, not cheesy way.
Of some of the other kind of secondary characters in the film, what did you think of them? We have Paula Ivanova, Dr. Carl Mortner, Chuck Lee. We have some of Zorin's other kind of lackeys like Scarpine or Allison Doody as Jenny Flex. I guess the real Bond girl villain of the film.
Yeah, she was like the silent villain, right? Like, or no, she was the one that
she has like two lines.
She I always thought like she always appears when something bad goes down. Like she
was the main female opposite Indiana Jones in Last Crusade.
That's interesting. But you know what's funny is this movie reminded me of like an Indiana Jones movie, I guess because in the mine shaft, but still it has that feeling, that makes sense that she would be in something like this. But she was, I just loved her name, to be honest. And I just remember seeing her floating in the water at the end and remembering that she was that blonde girl,
Right. And Mayday like freaks out.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
Like nothing you can do for her now. Like, all right.
Yeah, she shows like I just love that though. It's such a great moment of humanity for her.
Did you like any of the other secondary characters?
I'm trying to think. I really I can't remember her name though. The blonde when she totally gets the wrong tape. That was just such a great moment.
Oh, the Russian.
Yes. I thought that was hysterical. I mean, I'm trying to think of who else stood out.
I feel like the like side villains who are with Zorin aren't that great in this.
Yeah, they kind of blend into the background, honestly.
Like compared to a film like, License to Kill, where the secondary villains are as good as the main.
Yeah, that's true. Like everyone has a very strong perspective.
Yeah, in this you kind of have Scarpine, who does jack shit.
Yeah,
and then you have Dr. Karl Mortner, who it's hinted at that he's like a Nazi.
Right.
They even say like he's a Nazi, but it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he's just like there. He's just kind of behind Zorin the whole time.
Yeah, I mean it's not particularly interesting. And whenever I think of Bond, I think of the villains, and the villains have to be as good as Bond for the film to be successful. And Max Zorin is so good that I kind of overlook all the secondary villains.
Exactly.
But because Max Zorin is so good, it's kind of hard to overlook how kind of lackluster the secondary.
Yeah, that's true. It's almost like there's no thought behind,
Yeah. What did you think of Zorin's big evil plan?
I was really glad that there were some nice visuals. So thank you, director, for that. I really needed that. It's still shaky. I still don't understand. I mean, because like the actual plot is that they're going to destroy Silicon Valley so that they can own the monopoly on microchips, right? Like that's kind of a strange. I don't know how that makes sense to me. I mean, I don't know. It feels like kind of like a weak premise, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, they're going to flood Silicon Valley by taking water out of a lake
and just flooding.
Yeah, it is such kind of a eh.
It is. I mean, it's obviously diabolical. It's like the thing it's like obviously diabolical, right? It's going to hurt a lot of people, but the reason I guess behind it doesn't seem strong enough, other than the fact that it needed to be something that puts a lot of people in great danger so that 007 can save the day.
Well, and he's gonna flood Silicon Valley to make sure that his microchips are the only ones that exist. I mean, it's like so
right.
It's like superhero villain-esque shit.
It is. It's kind of
like that's like Lex Luthor. Like I'm gonna break California off into the ocean.
Yeah, exactly. It's like not the easiest way to I don't know. It's so strange. It's like overly complicated.
Yeah, and I feel like the best Bond villains have the least complicated motives.
Right. Well, that's what we were talking about with License to Kill, like how that was just, for the most part, it was because it was based so much in reality, he didn't need much more of a motive. And that was kind of what made that character so great.
I mean, his motive in License to Kill is just, he's a drug dealer. He's doing drug dealer things.
And he also, betrayed me or he also almost killed my best friend. So like, that's all we really need to know, It's a different motive. It's interesting.
Yeah, I never got the feeling in this movie that, I don't know. I just didn't think like it was a very well thought out villain plot.
Right. Because like you definitely need to see Zorin go nuts and kill everybody to really, really hate him,
Yeah, but outside of just like how great his character is, I feel like the main plot of this movie is a real just disappointment.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they spell it out so well.
Yeah. And I think without Christopher Walken as Zorin, this movie would have been an abject failure.
I totally can see. I would agree with you.
Right? It's not like everything else in this movie is okay, not great.
Right. But because of this great villain, it kind of makes it all work.
Yeah, I mean, you have this whole scene where they get caught in the City Hall of San Francisco, and that's not much of anything. I think the whole like horse racing subplot.
Oh yeah, that's
right.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not that good.
Yeah.
It's okay, but I definitely wasn't like, oh man, like isn't that awesome? Like the whole beginning of this movie, it takes so long for this film to get going.
Yeah, it does.
That once it gets going, Zorin disappears for a while.
Yeah.
Which is another big problem I have with this film, is that Christopher Walken like isn't on screen for a good half an hour.
Yeah.
Which, for him being my favorite part of this film, and honestly the best part of this film, I think anyone would walk away from this film thinking it's the best part.
Exactly.
When he's gone for a whole half an hour, I'm just like, this movie really starts to drag.
It does, and that's like the part I remember the least too of the movie. Like it kind of melts away. It's interesting. Because it's true, because that's why even though it's kind of mediocre and in certain ways, you overlook it because you're so curious. This character is so great, and you just want to see it develop in any circumstance. So you're right. I think it's so pivotal that we have Christopher Walken in this movie at all.
Yeah, because I think otherwise this would be a really just forgettable.
Yeah, like mesh of.
Yeah, it would just be forgettable and another Roger Moore film that.
Right.
isn't great, but because of how awesome, just, I can't stress enough how great Max Zorin is.
Yeah.
And how not great like everything else is, more or less.
Exactly.
What did you think of the big set piece at the end on the Golden Gate Bridge?
I thought, I don't know, it was, it was cool because I could see the green screen really well. It was really fun. It was a classic height scene, but his death again was kind of anticlimactic for me. I mean, he just sort of falls. But except for the fact that he did give you this beautiful little acting moment as he slips, as he's laughing. I just love seeing, I mean, his character to the end is just so great. But
his character is a dickhead to the end.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like he's laughing as he falls to his death. And it's just, I thought that was kind of cool. But I thought it was kind of anticlimactic, the ending.
Oh, no, I totally agree. It's, as much as I do love watching him like fall off the bridge, which I think is a great visual of a Bond villain falling off of the Golden Gate Bridge to his death while his giant blimp is tethered to the bridge, which I think is really great. I think the whole thing with the blimp is really great.
The image of it exploding and deflating at the end, that's great. That's a great image.
Yeah. But I mean, I think this movie really plays to the fact that Roger Moore is old.
Yeah. Yeah.
There aren't a lot of really big set pieces.
You're right.
Or a lot of really big like things going on that is, I don't know.
At least around Bond,
mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, okay, I mean, not a whole lot's going on, and he's just kind of, he doesn't really do a whole lot. Like even in the mine scene, which is supposed to be the kind of the big climax of the film, not a whole lot's happening.
Yeah, no, Mayday's doing the work there,
Right?
So.
I think that's my kind of real issue with this movie is when you don't have Walken on screen, they don't do enough to, they don't do enough to make you excited about the film.
Exactly. It's just kind of,
there's not any big set pieces. It's just
hitting the notes. It's not really giving you extra. Exactly. I agree. Kind of, it just blends away into the other Roger Moore sort of, canon.
And I wish that, I don't know. I wish that there was more of Christopher Walken in this film because of how little they do outside of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. As much as I love this film, and I do love this film, it does bum me out to kind of watch this film and being able to point out, all right, well now he's not on screen and now he's not going to be around.
Exactly. It's one that's hard to watch a second time. Yeah. But I mean, for real, I did enjoy, like you said, I did enjoy watching it because of, you're waiting to see what happens to Zorin and to see, what kind of crazy shit he's going to pull.
Yeah. And I really think they could have gone more in depth into the Zorin character. I mean, they hint that he's like a Nazi experiment baby, but so much stuff is just glossed over for the plot, the main plot about flooding Silicon Valley that it's not interesting.
Exactly. It feels shoehorned in.
Yeah. And then you get young Dolph Lundgren in the background too. In one of the scenes. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I don't think so. Who's that?
He's in the background scene with General Gogol when they go to confront Zorin.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh
I guess before we wrap this up, there is one other scene that kind of always sticks out to me in this film that feels like just another missed opportunity, and that's everything that takes place on the Eiffel Tower.
Oh yeah. It's funny because when that sequence was happening, I didn't even realize they were on the Eiffel Tower until she jumps off. I was like, oh okay.
Right?
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen more on that. And especially because they kind of do that really well with the Golden Gate Bridge. I would expect that scene sort of be there. I would, yeah, I agree. It's interesting.
And then he's driving around in a car that has no back end.
Exactly. Oh my God, that was so weird. I love
that was like as action as this film
It
gets.
Totally was.
Right?
Fake car.
It was just everything else about this film there was like no action.
Yeah, compare that chase up the stairs to Pierce Brosnan and GoldenEye, where he's diving down staircases. It's just like it's totally played down.
And even if he's not like doing his own stunts, which Pierce Brosnan isn't,
right? It's still like much more. It's head first down the stairs,
Yeah, like even that stunt right there is more stunts than Roger Moore even remotely does.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's oh brother. Well, skip it or watch it in best performance.
I definitely think you got to watch this. at least once because I really, it was one of my favorites to watch through. So yeah, definitely watch it. As far as favorite performance, I think you knew I was obviously going to say Grace Jones. So Mayday was the shit. She was my girl.
I mean, as much as there are problems that I have with this film, which there are a lot of problems, it's a watch for Walken's performance, I think.
Yeah, totally.
I think really, like we've said, outside of that, there's not a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
Except for maybe, getting to see Roger Moore for the last time or getting to see Lois Maxwell as Miss Moneypenny for the last time. But I mean, unless you're really kind of into the Bond lore, you're not going to think anything of it anyways.
Right.
So, you essentially just get to see Max Zorin, which is Christopher Walken playing an evil Bill Gates or Steve Jobs. So, and best performance for me, I mean, it's got to be, Christopher Walken as Steve Jobs / Max Zorin / Bill Gates. I mean, he's got the look. I mean, he even looks kind of like a mesh between the two.
Yeah, I can see that, especially, you're right.
Yeah. But, I think that he's the best part of the movie, and without him, I would say that this movie is a total skip.
Yeah.
But with him in this role, hamming it up, it's pretty great.
That's fair.
Yeah. So, what do you think the film score is on Rotten Tomatoes?
I'm going to say 67.
35%.
Ooh, it's even lower than that. Oh, man.
Absurd even by Bond standards. A View to a Kill is weighed down by campy jokes and a noticeable lack of energy.
Interesting. Well, I agree with that, but I really liked the jokes in this one for some reason. Maybe it's just because I gave into its ridiculousness. I don't know.
Well, they got the part about lacking
energy.
Yeah. The lacking of energy, I think, is they're right on the nose with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to plug before I talk about the final two podcasts of James Bond January?
We're almost done. I will just say, as always, you can follow me on Twitter at Shonifer and on Facebook, Sean Liang.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Culture Stash. And if you like what you're listening to now, we have 100+ episodes of the Kulturecast going all the way back to October of 2014. And check out cultureshock.com. We have movie reviews, video game reviews, and a little bit of wrestling. This Thursday, we're going to be talking about License to Kill. We're going to be joined by Oscar Moreno, one of our film staff writers for the site, along with an interview with Robert Davi, who played Franz Sanchez in the film.
That'd be cool.
And then next week, we're going to be talking about the final two films of James Bond January, GoldenEye, which Sean has never seen, the first Pierce Brosnan film, and then Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace. We're going to be joined by Mike White on Thursday to talk about those films, the first and second Daniel Craig. So make sure to check those out.